Ladies and gentlemen, come one, come all. Hurry on down to the anime YouTube channel because today we have something that doesn't happen very often. If you want some infinite wealth, eternal youth, and 100,000 bitches, then you're in luck because you're about to witness something more rare than a shooting star. I'm f***ing posting again. Thank you. You all are too kind. I really don't deserve the praise. No, really, I don't. Like, honestly, I really need to get my groove back. It feels good uploading and being back and seeing all of you ready to talk about some drawings. I feel like sometimes I'm taking this experience for granted, so you know what? I need something to get me to appreciate the time that I have. Oh, hi there, little elf lady. What's that? You want to teach me a spell that gives me infinite energy to make videos? All right, let's do it then. And there you go. That's everything you need to know. Frieren, for God's sake, YouTube isn't even a thing anymore. Yep, you got that right. Today's the day that we talk about Susanoo Frieren, otherwise known as Frieren Beyond Journey's End. A brilliant commentary on time appreciation, among other stuff as well. Make sure to watch this majestic and beautiful show while you still can before you get spoiled. I don't want to be the one that ruins the day for you, so please go watch it. All right, let's get started. First, I want to reiterate something because I want to make this very clear. This is a beautiful show in every way. It looks visually amazing with vibrant colors and majestic scenery in pretty much every frame. The character designs are super slick and clean, like putting a lot of others to shame. It really does seem like every character has been given a sort of passion that a lot of other shows don't seem to do. Even characters that are more often than not tossed to the side seem to have their designs carefully thought out, as if they were their own main characters to their own anime. The soundtracks and the OSTs really help to immerse you into the world as well. And it's not just an aesthetic part of the show like the audio and the visuals, but the story is extremely gorgeous too, which is what I really want to get into. It's what I like analyzing the most anyway, so yeah, let's get to it. Frieren, a small elf who's thousands of years old, who once formed part of a party of heroes who were able to vanquish the Demon King of that world. We're given this information from the very beginning of the show, and from then on, we are given the story from the perspective of Frieren decades after these events transpired. Hence the title. We're basically just getting the epilogue of your traditional magic fantasy anime. We see her going on little adventures and going to different towns on her own little journey to learn every spell she can in the world. Even the most monotonous spells you could think of, like removing rust or turning grapes sour or even just growing some flowers. During her travels, she ends up taking in a little girl to become her apprentice and also finds a warrior to aid her in a quest that they end up embarking on in order to find a way to speak to Himmel the hero, who she took down the Demon King with many years ago. Also, keep in mind that this is happening in the span of like years. The first like 3 episodes have more time skips than all of the big 3 combined. But don't get that confused with a criticism, because this move actually plays in favor of what the author was trying to do very nicely. While we're skipping through all of these years, we also see how Frieren has a huge habit of taking an absurd amount of time doing even the most mundane and unimportant tasks, as well as staying in certain places for painfully longer times than she needs to be. Like, bro, she can't help but just waste time. No, like, seriously, she literally can't help it. Frieren, as you might have figured out, is an elf, a race that is known for living hundreds and thousands of years. Which, I mean, if you haven't put 2 and 2 together, is way longer than a human. But that's something that we've seen plenty of before. That's not a surprise. However, here, not only does Frieren live for hundreds of millennia, but her perception of time is also completely different. The concept is that basically time moves a lot faster for Frieren than it does for humans. So what would feel like 50 years for a human might feel like a week to the elf. Therefore, I guess you would say that it's only natural that Frieren wastes time the way she does. I think it's actually a really cool concept that we've never actually seen before. Not that I'm aware of, at least. I mean, compare this to the elves that we normally see in other fantasy anime, where they're just normal people with pointy, long, overly sensitive ears and longer lives. Especially the overly sensitive ears. The R34 community seems to freaking love them for some reason. The way they take advantage of this to make the story around Frieren is just pure cream. But in order to analyze that, we need to take a little bit of a step back. Let's go way back before Frieren even meets Himmel. We have to start talking about Flamme. Flamme is a legendary mage that lived in the prehistoric times and is considered to be a hero among many historians. She was also Frieren's master, making Frieren her student. Flamme used her vast knowledge of magic and mana control to train Frieren to become a mage strong enough to defeat the tyrannical Demon King of the time, essentially turning Frieren into one of the most powerful mages the world has ever seen, teaching her ways of deceiving the enemies, giving them no way of knowing how strong the person in front of them actually is. Flamme was a woman woman that showed Frieren many things and gave Frieren many experiences that she even looks back at in the present day. Flamme gave her literally everything she knew, consequently turning Frieren into a demon-killing machine. Now, whether or not this was her intention is something that I'm actually not really sure about personally, although it doesn't really matter what the intention was. Both scenarios work perfectly fine, and it also adds this mysterious element about Flamme that actually makes her one of my favorite characters in the show. Basically, what we do know for sure, though, is that Frieren is now every demon's nightmare because of Flamme. From then on, she would spend the next 1,000 years exterminating demons and harnessing her skills in order to eventually slay the Demon King. Not much interest in anything else. Just kill demons, kill demons, kill demons. Until eventually she finds herself in a party years later, where she meets who would be the person that would come to essentially be her savior. Watch out, everyone! A new challenger has appeared. Himmel the hero. Up to this point, Frieren never really had any interest in getting to know people, whether it be humans, dwarves, you name it. Until this man shows up in her life like a father that came back from getting the milk he went for 15 years ago. Himmel, along with Frieren, Eisen, and Hader, embarks on a 10-year journey to successfully defeat the Demon King and bring an era of peace that would last even decades later during the present day events of this show. And during their 10-year journey, Himmel eventually takes quite the liking to Frieren. Now, I don't know if this interest he develops for Frieren is particularly a romantic interest. That's up to your own interpretation. It doesn't even matter because it's not even close to what the main focus that this entails. Himmel starts to teach Frieren little by little and in subtle ways about the little joys of life, dropping his atomic wisdom on her about these things throughout the 10 years they were together. He ends up telling Frieren about how nice and fun it was to be in that party no matter the circumstances they were in during their last days together, before she finally departed from the party, only for her to return to see Himmel 50 years later and find him aging and completely changed. Remember, 50 years to us may feel like a month or so to Frieren, so seeing him like that after what for her is such little time would surprise anyone. And before she even knew it, dude passed on, immediately hitting her with a huge sense of regret because of how she couldn't get to know him better. Get to know the person that basically saved her from a miserable and spiraling life. Fast forward to present day Frieren, and we now find her at least trying to make an effort to appreciate the time that she has, and trying to find the little joys that life can also offer, as well as also trying to learn about the people around her, whether it be Fern or Stark or whoever it may be. On their new journey, she now tries to apply that same wisdom Himmel once shared with her by seeking new little spells and having fun with her new party and using the same sort of tricks and doing the same kind of things that Himmel would do in these situations. Like, yeah, she still might waste a lot of time and she still might stay in places for way longer than she needs to, but at the end of the day, she's at least trying to be better at appreciating the time that she has, which is honestly such a beautiful story, and I can't wait to see more of what's to come from this show. Like, think about it like this. Us humans have a life expectancy of around like 80 years or so, let's say. Then we have a butterfly, which has an average life expectancy of around 1 week, 2 weeks at the absolute most, right? A question that would come to mind to us normally would be, well, what's the point of a butterfly's life if it only lives for about a week? Yeah, you're right. But that butterfly, it still wants to live. That butterfly still wants to eat. It wants to experience life and go wherever it wants to go, and it also tries to avoid death whenever it can. Yeah, it does live only for a week, but God knows what a week feels like to that butterfly. It could feel like an entire lifetime for it. Just a mere week. Exactly like how a mere 80 years for Frieren feels like an entire lifetime for us humans. What a brilliant story, man. Anyway, I think it's about time that I start ending this video. It's getting long enough. I gotta hurry up and freeze myself in a cryogenic chamber for the next year so that I could be ready for the next upload. Nah, I'll try to be more efficient with my uploads from now on. I'm in that sort of mood, so be sure to subscribe for more future uploads, and while you're at it, make sure to let me know down below what kind of video I should make using the My Anime List link down in the description. Don't y'all go thinking that I've been sleeping on anime, man. Solo leveling? Woo! Kaiju number 8? Windbreaker? Okay, that one isn't as good, but it wasn't bad, so there you have it. Anyway, I gotta get going. Peace out, you butterflies.